again everyone, this is going to be a rant video, controlled rant, not the usual kind of rants you see everywhere else. Quite a calm person really, so don't expect anything to strip it, just expect me to just speak my mind in as calm as possible, as calm as I can stay for at least. A few other things first, two other things first. People have been asking about the guitar that's here. It's one of the guitars I have, it's an Ibanez. People have also noticed this in the background. It is the sword that my girlfriend got me for 1 year anniversary. And that's it all. This is my Mario wall calendar, and above it is map for Witcher 2. Okay, so rant. Where to start? It's about Michael Pachter. I just really don't see how this man still has a job. First of all, he has made so many... I can't even find the word to describe it. Let's just go with the word that's all over YouTube at the moment. He's exposed himself so many times. He's actually said that he makes so many predictions just so he can cover all his bases, just so he can be right. And even at that, he admitted he's only right about 2% of the time. There's been parts where he's admitted that he doesn't even know how to use a television control. So why do people trust him when it comes to the gaming industry? People still actually not understand it, listen to what he's saying and make investments based on that. It's kind of weird, especially the fact that he is one of the only business analysts at the moment that's saying to invest in Sony. Everyone else is saying don't do it, and it's mind-boggling. But let's get on to what I want to talk about here. He really recently done something with the SXSW Interactive 2013, whatever the hell that is. It might be something that he's just put at the top of his thing, but I know there is the SXSW. He claims that this generation, the 8th generation of consoles, will be the last. After this generation, no consoles from anyone. This is just, I did write an article for the website that I'm building. It should be up soon, don't worry about that. So I'm just going to read off what I've wrote on here, and I won't read it all off, I'll just go through what I think is the most important points in it. And then I'll get back onto some other things as well about it. Basically, it looks like he's just giving Nintendo and the Wii U a final goodbye, or just hammering that final nail right into its coffin. It says that the Wii U is going to sell 30 to 50 million units lifetime. This is based on the current sale rate of the system. I really don't see how he's getting this, because if you go back to 2005, 2006, when the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and the Wii was launched, he had completely different ideas. He thought that the original Wii, codenamed the Revolution at the time, would only sell 3 million units by the end of 2007. It had much higher sales figures for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 in their first year as well. Totally wrong on everything that he said about it. It's okay, I think for the first year of the Wii's life, it sold around 20 million units, which is really good because it was something new, and I think this is why it sold well. It's just a new way to control. Everybody was really excited about it. Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. I want to make a comparison to the Wii U in a few minutes, but I've done that before, so if you want to see that, I'll link a video to it and whatnot. When these were first out, Michael Pachter was singing their praises from the top of the mountaintops, big gown and all sorts of crap like that, the faggot that he is. When their sales were not doing so well, he was still pushing on how great they were, how they were going to sell over 100 million copies units each, and by the time it from launch date till halfway into the next year, they just hit around 3 million copies, 3 million units sold, but still praising, singing to the high heavens about them. Go forward 7-8 years, and we have the Wii U launch, which does 3.06 million units in 45 days. And then slows down completely. I'll get to that in a minute as well. And because of that, doomed, fucking not even going to support it, fuck off, just go away. Right? That's exactly what he's saying here. I don't really see how he can say that for one system but not the other. Sure, economically we're worse off now than we were back in 2005 and 2006, but between now and then it's went down, but the economy started to come back up again, so we're a little better off than what we were a couple of years back, but not as well off as we were back then. I don't see this. Another thing, he's saying at current rate, I'm going to bring up PlayStation Vita here. That's currently overtaking the 3DS in weekly sales for 1 week on the 3DS. It's actually now the top selling system in Japan this week. It did recently have a price cut down to the equivalent of what, $213 or something like that, and it has a shitload of new games coming out. Now, if you remember when it launched up until it got its price cut, which was just a few weeks back, sales were fucking abysmal for that thing. He wasn't stating that it was failing or anything like that. I'm going to come back to Michael Pachter and his hypocrisy and bias every chance I get, just to show how much a fucking idiot this man is. And I've lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so PlayStation Vita, terrible, brilliant sales. I think the sales went up by about 700 and odd percent, and just that week that the price cut came in and the new games were announced to be releasing for it very soon. Now, Michael Pachter never talks about the 3DS. Several people have tried to get him to talk about it. He just flat out refuses to talk about the 3DS. I think he'll only talk about the failing parts of Nintendo, but won't talk about the successful parts, because the 3DS, week over week worldwide, is the best selling system that you can find, and it has been for quite a while now. Michael Pachter just tunnel vision, does not see this. It's just all around him, but it just straight down the line, nothing. But coming back to the PlayStation Vita, with that the new software coming out for that, its sales have skyrocketed. Now the Wii U, it's had a rough start, let's say, software wise. I've actually got a load of dates marked up here for new software, and one game in February, one game in January, not many in February, and the next game I'm planning on buying is in March. And the first one that I'll get is Monster Hunter. So there's not a lot of games out for the system at the moment. As soon as the software starts to get pushed out, we're going to see the sales really go back up again. But I think another way for them to for Nintendo to drive sales of the system would be to actually advertise it. Television's over there. I'm sure you've seen it in some of my other videos. But I've changed my room about, so my TV actually. Fuck it, I'm not even going to explain that. Since the Wii U was released over here in Scotland on November the 30th, 2012, I've seen about three or four. I've seen it advertised 3 or 4 times on the television. Nowhere on any other website, and nowhere, and sometimes inside stores that I go to as well. On the 21st of February this year, I turned on my television after the PlayStation 4 conference, well, the day after, since 21st. One of the first adverts I seen was for the PlayStation 4. Now, I have a feeling that Nintendo knows exactly what they're doing with their advertising. I think they're deliberately not advertising the system right now, which is going to bring the sales down. But when it gets closer to the PlayStation 4 and the next Xbox being released, you're going to see that just all over the place. This is what I'm predicting anyway. They're going to advertise the actual shit out of this console. And at that time, it's going to have a very, very large library of exclusive games, and should have a lot of third party support by then. If you've seen my last video about third party support for Nintendo, there was 71 studios there on the list. We emailed some of them, haven't emailed me back yet. Different story. But I think once it gets closer to the end of the year, when the 2 other consoles will be coming out, we're going to see the Wii U being advertised quite a lot, all over the place, fucking shit ton of advertising, and because they'll have a load of software out, that software is going to be getting fucking hoarded all over the place as well. Now, back to the main point. Michael Pachter's complete bias here is now, because I've said he thinks the Wii U is likely to sell 30 to 50 million units in its lifetime. Then goes on to say the Wii sold 99 million units lifetime. Then he goes on to, we think that the Wii U is too similar to current generation consoles and priced too close to likely launch prices for the PS4 and Durango to thrive. That's a load of bullshit. Maybe that the known power of the Wii U is close to it, but from what I've been reading, there's lots of fixed functions on the actual GPU die, which means that it keeps the teraflops or gigaflops low, but still gives really high-end performance. The teraflops and gigaflops isn't really a good way to actually benchmark a GPU though. And I also don't see how you can define it as close to the 7th generation consoles. It has one massive unique thing that neither of them have. Well, the Xbox kind of does it with smart glass, but the gamepad is just so far out there that I love playing with my gamepad. I play Zombie U constantly. I've finished it on Nightmare Hardcore, whatever the hell mode it's called, can't even remember. And I love that game. I feel like the Wii U is perfect for horror games. I need to see more on it. I hope that the Resident Evil Revelations game that's coming out for it does something really unique on it, and it gets you really immersed in the game. But I'm getting off topic again. He says it's priced too close to the likely prices for the PS4, and he says the Durango at launch. I really don't think that the PlayStation 4 is going to have a price range close to it. The Durango, with what's been leaked recently, it's probably to be priced closer to the Wii U than it is the PlayStation 4. Um, but PlayStation 4, I can't see having a low price point at the moment, especially if it does take 8 GB of GDDR5 RAM. That's going to elevate the price of it quite a bit, and I'm not going to get one day one. I've got my reasons for that. Um, Nothing much I can say there. His predictions for the PlayStation 4 and the next Xbox. It says both of them likely to sell 85 to 95 million units in their lifetime. Let's start with the Xbox first. It says the Xbox 360 sold 75 million in its lifetime. That number's still going up. But what really is a kick in the balls here is that he says TV functionality a huge driver. Now, this is the same man that was actually busting the balls of Nintendo for using it, TV functionality on the system. It has never said anything good about the Nintendo TV, and I really don't see how he can go from saying terrible, fuck it, just get rid of it, and then saying that it's a huge driver on another system. He's kind of contradicting himself a little too much there. I guess that's why he's only correct 2% of the time. PlayStation 4. This goes on to say the PlayStation 3 sold 73 million units, so sorry, PlayStation fanboys, it's still in third place. But he's saying because the price hasn't been announced yet, it's likely to be less than $599 at launch. I really don't see this. I think it might be around $650 at launch. This is just a prediction of mine, though. That's my dog rummaging about. I don't really see how, unless their shareholders are willing to take another huge loss, which after the PlayStation 3 I doubt they will. They're not going to price this thing any lower than 650. It might be higher than that, it might be lower, but my prediction for it is between $500 and $650. I'll just go on to say one thing that he said back in 2006. He says, ultimately, we see Sony winning the console war with 36% of the market, with Nintendo capturing second place at 34% and Microsoft finishing third at 30%. He's always singing the praises of Sony, and I really, really hope it hurt him and made him physically cry when the Wii just ran away with the 7th generation with a market share of 40.08% and Microsoft 30.26 and PlayStation 3 29.55. That's fairly okay, I suppose. So next, right. As you can see, I'm still quite calm. I find it more funny than anything else. Here's another image here. He says, the next generation of consoles probably will last, blah blah blah. Wii U performance to date is underwhelming. Now, for the first 45 days, big boom, really great. From then on, I'll have to agree with him that it has been rather lackluster. But that always happens after the initial boom of a console. It's really, really high sales prices and then drop right down because there's always a drought of games for every console. It's been like that for a while now. Hence where all the Wii U has no games, Xbox has no games, and PlayStation 3 has no games. That went on for quite a while. few years actually. Quite funny. Yeah, but still, yeah. He says that the Wii U is essentially a DS split into two parts. Not innovative enough to drive huge interest, but it's possible. It's my dog again. It's possible that exciting new titles will reinvigorate growth. Now, Nintendo first party titles. These are bound to fire up the growth of the system and sales once certain games launch are just, I expect them to skyrocket. I expect to see a increase in percentage like we've seen with the Vita so far. Maybe not as huge, but a massive week over week increase in sales for the Wii U, especially in games like Super Smash Bros, Wind Waker HD. That's going to sell pretty well. I can almost guarantee that. Mario Galaxy, and then 2014, when the next Zelda is launched, I'm predicting that the next Zelda, the proper Wii U Zelda, will launch 2014 holiday season. Between the first party title to release and whenever their last first party title releases, you can expect the Nintendo Wii U to just boom in sales once again. Where he's saying it's not innovative enough, I'm thinking he's only talking about specs here again. You'll find out later on why. The Wii U gamepad, sure, we have touchscreen everything nowadays, but none of them actually have an actual controller built onto them. If you want the game on a touchscreen, it's with your fingers and fiddling. I hate it. But with the Wii U gamepad, it's hard to describe. You have the full touchscreen right there in front of you. It's another source of information. Wander around, all buttons you'd expect from a controller. All the motion control crap that you could put into it. And I don't see where he's getting that the Wii U is not innovative. I think it's done well to actually push gameplay into a new area once again, just like the Wii had. While the Wii was still in development, they had talks about putting the screen on the Wii controller as well, but they eventually met with Tom Quinn, and then motion controls just blasted off from there. Little history about that: first Tom Quinn, for the inventor of the motion control that's in the Wii, actually met up with Microsoft and Sony first, who both rejected the technology, saying that it could do it better. Well, they didn't do anything about it. It took them several years to even catch up and get their own motion controls. They pretty much really fucked up, and they could have pretty much fucked up Nintendo during the 7th generation if they took the motion controls in. But that's a different story altogether again. Essentially a DS split into two parts, gamepad plus the TV. I don't really know what to say to that. I think it's just stupid the way he's put that. Yeah, just maybe someone should just take his head, put it in a toilet, and slam him a few times. Maybe he can explain it better. Now, PlayStation 4. In fact, we'll go into the Microsoft's Durango first. It says it's not yet announced, but they're sticking with their prior prediction that it'll have a built-in TV tuner. Wonder where that's coming from. Connect bundled with every console, more casual stuff. Integration of Skype and a lot more. Now, a few days ago, he also said that the built-in TV functionality and Skype It's going to be a killer app for the Xbox 3, Xbox 720, Xbox 3, Xbox 8, what the fuck, whatever the fuck the thing's being called. Killer apps? No, don't think so. Especially not Skype. Why is a TV tuner a killer app on one system but not another? Fuck off. Yeah, so I'm actually more excited about the next Xbox than I am about the PlayStation 4 now. Certain thing I was a few months back, before the actual announcement of the PlayStation 4, I was more excited for the PlayStation 4 than I was the Xbox 360, but the PlayStation 4 announcement just totally fucked that up. They can just go shove their fucking whatever the fuck it was, that stupid controller up their arses and turn on the DualShock vibrate functions, and then they friends. PlayStation 4 is impressive. Now, maybe to some, not to me. I'm not a big fan of Killzone. Can go die in a ditch somewhere for all I care. Fake driving game. Infamous Setting Sun. That one has me interested. But I don't see why I should get a 4-day for one game. Usually I'll buy and then spread out third party titles over whichever the consoles, so I've got certain games in each system. I can play whatever one I want at the time I want. But I'm not seeing the need to buy a PlayStation 4 at the moment. Most of the stuff they showed was mainly third party or focused on social integration and fucking. I'm a gamer, I don't want to talk to more people. I go outside and try to avoid as many people as I can. Fuck sharing things with them. Now, we're going to say graphics are phenomenal, and huge RAM makes innovation likely. No. Graphics were a mediocre jump. Not that great. They added, especially with the fact that it's been said that the graphics, well, the footage seen during the conference was running on a PC, not an actual PlayStation 4. Had more. The PlayStation 4 doesn't have a fully built box yet. And if you go back to what 2000 E3 was, when they said the PlayStation we could do avatars and well graphics and do 1.8 graphics card, which is now what they're saying is on the GPU and the PlayStation 4. No, not believing them this time. They can go choke on a dick. Don't really care. Huge RAM makes innovation likely. Well, but with the operating system of the phone it's going to be running at the same time, I'd say like to that RAM to be allocated for the games. Don't see why anyone else in this respect have seen that operating system, and they've practically shown off everything that the operating system does. I just don't see it, games having that much RAM allocated to them, especially when it's now been revealed that the specs aren't final and that we could be saying goodbye to the 8 gigabytes and 8 gigs of RAM. So, yeah, fuck that. Fuck Michael Pachter. Fuck him with a master sword if you need to. Just get it right up there. Fucking. Oh. Yeah, okay, I didn't want to actually get aggravated. But yeah, okay. Next it says multimedia features a mystery, but CPU power allows huge improvement. Also, no. I remember when it was revealed that the Wii U CPU was clocked at 1.24 gigahertz. Considering every rumour that came out for the PlayStation 4 turned out to be true at the conference, the non-event, I'm inclined to believe that the x86 processor that they have in the system is exactly what it's rumoured to be, and that is a fucking laptop, fucking tablet CPU running at 1.6 gigahertz. Now, it's 8 cores, but I really can't see this thing being that much of an improvement. Especially when it was funny when it was revealed it was 1.86, all the Wii U haters that were going 1.2 gigahertz immediately shut the fuck up. It was really funny actually. I quite enjoyed it. I aggravated them quite a lot as well. Oh. So yeah, not much of a rant, just me telling somebody to fuck off and go fuck themselves a few times, and spent the minutes doing that. Not bad. Still better than the PlayStation 4 conference. And I've done it in a lot shorter time as well. Probably more entertaining. I really don't see why people give this man any attention. He's really wrong. He's wrong 98% of the time. He admitted that himself. Even he doesn't even know how to work a television remote. Why would people trust him when about the video game industry? He's probably never even turned on any of the systems that he speaks about. Sure, in his videos, he's got these games sitting behind him. Could just be the empty. Probably is. Yeah. Back to her. Go fuck yourself. Go choke on a dick. Do the world and just shut up. It's very easy. Better than you. My 3-year-old you and fuck my dog job and my. But yeah, there's my predictions as well, along with the bullshit that he's spewed and my thoughts on it, and me telling him to go fuck, go die and choke on dick and crap like that. Yeah,